Hello and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. Is the US trying to ban TikTok? Well, it certainly looks that way. And why? Well, it's mainly because TikTok is owned by Chinese tech giant ByteDance. And by law, Chinese companies can be forced to share user data with their government if Beijing demands it. U.S. security concerns over TikTok first came into the spotlight when in 2020, then President Donald Trump tried to stop new users from downloading the app and eventually block its use in the U.S. But he failed to do so after a series of court battles. Fast forward to Wednesday, the Senate approved a bipartisan proposal to keep federal employees from using the app on their government-owned devices. Although the bill still has to be green-lighted by the House before it goes to President Joe Biden for approval. Republican Senator Marco Rubio has been championing the legislation and explained why on Twitter.
I want to ban TikTok for a very simple reason. They allow the Chinese Communist Party to gain access to all of the private data on any device in America that's using TikTok. That's our kids, that's phones connected to our kids' phones, and that's a national security threat, but it's a direct threat to our way of life, our economics. It's allowed them to interfere in the midterm elections. This company should be banned. I don't know why they're allowed to operate in the United States.
But TikTok maintains that its U.S. users have nothing to worry about and that none of their data is being shared with China. The social media giant says it doesn't comply with Chinese government content moderation requirements and that it stores all its U.S. data in servers based in the country. Yet many just don't buy it and believe TikTok has been compromised by Beijing to spy on Americans. Here's a clip from September when U.S. senators grilled a TikTok executive.
Are there members of the Chinese Communist Party employed by TikTok and ByteDance, yes or no?
I wouldn't be able to tell you the political affiliation of any individual. What I can tell you is how much we're investing.
No, membership in the Communist Chinese Party is not exactly like membership in the Democrat Party.
Controls.
So I'm looking for an answer. You tell me you don't know? TikTok doesn't know.
I can tell you that our U.S. and Singapore leadership, there are no CCP members.
Forbes magazine recently reported that at least 300 current TikTok or ByteDance employees were members of Chinese state media and affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party.
We don't look at the political affiliations or can't speak to individuals, but what I can tell you is we're protecting the data in the United States.
Well, Wednesday's Senate vote to ban TikTok on U.S. federal government devices comes after North Dakota and Iowa this week joined the growing number of U.S. states banning the app from state-owned devices. So far, about a dozen U.S. states have taken similar actions, including Alabama and Utah. It's been another dramatic day for free speech on Twitter, with CEO Elon Musk taking the ban hammer to an account that tracked the flight path of his private jet. The account used publicly available information and was started by a college student named Jack Sweeney, who's a fan of the mogul. Before he bought Twitter, Musk had asked Sweeney to shut down the account for his own personal safety. Then on Wednesday, he pulled both the tracking account and Sweeney's personal account, and even threatened to sue him. And while Sweeney said he'd be happy to work for one of Musk's companies, the 20-year-old said he's worried that the world's second richest man was not living up to his promises about free speech.
I literally had just talked about how the account is like the canary in the coal mine. It just shows that he can continue to do what the last people did at Twitter, and they can bend the rules in however which way they want for whoever they want.
So what changed Musk's mind? As the news of Sweeney's account suspension broke, the billionaire said a car carrying his 2-year-old son had been cut off in traffic by a masked stranger. He then threatened legal action against Sweeney and his family. The assailant, according to Musk, jumped onto the front of the vehicle carrying the boy. He then shared a video of the person he says is responsible, asking for help identifying him. Amid all this, Twitter prevented anyone from posting or sharing links to Sweeney's other socials or the code he used to automatically update his account. Sweeney's accounts showing Musk's plane's locations are still up on Mastodon and Donald Trump's far-right Twitter clone, Truth Social. But some people use Twitter's community notes feature to tell Musk that his decision runs against his own promise to apply the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution to Twitter. That law protects posting public flight data. And one podcaster who focuses on conspiracy theories noted a certain irony. Musk has brought back peddlers of COVID-19 misinformation and even neo-Nazis spreading racist paranoia. What that suggests is that it's potentially easier to tell a lie than the truth on the platform. Twitter has, of course, had rules against doxing people for many years. That means you haven't been able to post people's addresses or private identity card documents to the site, but now those rules have gotten broader to include real-time location data. While the rules call a reasonable delay to the information is fine, but what reasonable means is anybody's guess. For the time being, the changes have led to the closure of another account tracking the private jet of Musk's mega-billionaire rival, Jeff Bezos. Kenya's Charlene Ruto is facing backlash for her so-called Office of the First Daughter. Charlene has been using that title since her dad, William Ruto, became president in September, even though under Kenyan law, there's no provision for Office of the First Daughter. She's been going to high-profile events using the title, prompting outrage among Kenyans who ask, is public money funding her appearances under the so-called office? And tells us more about the controversy from Nairobi.
Well, social media is still buzzing, and this is because a few hours ago, Charlene Ruto, who is the president's daughter, really put out a statement and said the Office of the First Daughter really operates as a private entity. The word private entity is what rubbed Kenyans the wrong way, and they were quick to react on social media. Others questioning on the legitimacy of this office, and many thinking that it is a stepping stone into which she will launch her political career, and others seizing the moment by creating memes. But one thing that really stuck with Kenyans is the name they've given the daughter Charlene Ruto, and many are calling her quick-marted banker, meaning that she pops up and she comes uninvited, regardless of where she is. Now, for the past few months, we've seen Charlene Ruto traversing the country, meeting leaders on different days. Many questioning who exactly is funding the operations of the Office of the First Daughter, and exactly the legitimacy of the office. All this is happening while the president or his father's administration will be marking the first 100 days in office on Tuesday next week.
All right, what if I were to tell you that your favorite Apple product is being used by stalkers? Yup, 2 women in the US are suing the tech giant over their ex's use of Apple's AirTags to secretly track their location in real time. The coin-sized Bluetooth trackers are meant to be attached to things like luggage, bags, and keys to help you find the items if you lose them. Unfortunately, since AirTags were launched last year, there have been many cases of the trackers being used for nefarious purposes. U.S. police say besides stalkers using AirTags to track victims, there have also been cases of thieves using the trackers to steal cars. Earlier this year, Apple rolled out more safeguards, including sound alerts to prevent unwanted tracking. But safety groups say the measures don't go far enough. The lawsuit filed this week by 2 women in San Francisco alleges Apple's safeguards are woefully inadequate and do little, if anything, to promptly warn individuals if they are being tracked. He is an attorney from the law firm defending the women.
These AirTags were placed on their person or on their vehicle and used by someone else to actually track where they were going without their authorization. This is a scary story.
Yup, scary indeed. So what should you do if you suspect an AirTag is being used to track you?
Women are being stalked with AirTags. Here's what to do. If you have an iPhone, you'll get a notification that an AirTag is on you. You'll be able to play a sound to help find it and get instructions to disable it. For Android, you need an app. Once you find it, you can remove the battery and report it to the police. Don't toss it because they might need the serial number.
As the World Cup reaches its climax on Sunday, there are more rest days without any football. Franzi took the opportunity to soak up some of the local culture.
Assalamu alaikum. Today I want to show you one of the biggest attractions here in Qatar. Welcome to the cultural village, Katara. This is not a usual village, but a place where you can dive deep into different cultures and traditions, not only of Qatar, but the whole world. It's a place where people come together to experience different festivals, visit art exhibitions, or participate in workshops. What you can find here are beautiful concert halls, art galleries, and amphitheaters like this one. The theme of the village is beyond boundaries, so it stands for a world where people from different backgrounds come together and focus on their unity instead of their differences. Katara is a place where you can learn about the past and meet the future.
And that's our show. Find us on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you same time tomorrow.